What's up everybody, I'm solo traveling to Sharm El Sheikh in Egypt and I'll be going on a cruise to the White Islands and to 2 scuba diving spots. I booked the tour online at Viator for only $25, which is crazy for a multiple hour cruise. You can find the booking link at the link below. Alright, let's get to it. Good morning. It's my first full day at Sharm El Sheikh in Egypt. I'm staying at a hotel right next to the Red Sea and there's this amazing view in the morning. The hotel is at an all-inclusive resort, so I head out to the buffet to get a quick bite before going on the excursion. There's plenty of hot foods to choose from. There was almost too many options to choose from and I felt a bit overwhelmed by the selection. Talk about first world problems. I was surprised at the amount of croissant options they offered for being a non-French city. Once I got to the lobby, there was already plenty of people waiting for the excursion. There was a binder going over different experiences I could book, but I couldn't understand the language. Eventually, I noticed it was in Russian, which means there must have been a lot of Russian tourists for them to make a Russian language section. Currently waiting for my shuttle to take me on the excursion. Looks like I'm the only one from my hotel going there compared to earlier. Eventually, another shuttle arrived, but unfortunately, it was not for me. I then saw a shuttle at the gates of the resort, and I was confused why the resort didn't allow them to drive up to the doorsteps. Once I got to the shuttle, they didn't get a proper head count, so they ran out of seats for me. The tour guide ended up sitting on top of the armrest in the front, and I sat next to him. I'm not too sure how safe that is. Eventually, we started driving by popular landmarks, and it was nice to sightsee a bit before we got to the pier. The desert area kind of reminded me of Arizona. Eventually, I could start seeing the water, and I knew we were getting close to the pier. We entered the parking lot of other vans. The downside of traveling alone to another country is that I have to figure out everything on my own. I followed one of the workers to this waiting area, which I eventually picked up a life vest, snorkel equipment, and swimming fins. There was a roll call to make sure everyone's present, and then we filed in a line to head to the boat. It was also very hot and humid. The journey to the boat kind of felt like I was going to Disneyland. During the journey, there was multiple long lines and I had to go through security. The process to board a boat was very slow. I was shocked at the amount of boats that they had docked, and it seemed like all of them were cruises. Hopefully, they weren't all going to the same spot, otherwise it'd be pretty crowded. Now it's time to make sure I stay in the right group and board the right boat. I finally made it to my boat and boarded the boat. They made us take off our shoes before going to the upper deck. Eventually, it was time to set off on the cruise. I noticed we weren't the only ones leaving, and I was surprised at how many boats were also going the same direction. Welcome back everybody. Today I am in Sharm El Sheikh and it's gonna be a good day. Our boat had a few scuba instructors and they gave us a quick rundown on how to operate the equipment safely in case we wanted to scuba dive at the locations. They divided us into 3 groups based off the language we spoke: English, Russian, and Arabic. We then head downstairs for another meeting. This time it was for us to sign liability waivers. The scuba diving wasn't included in my package, but I could pay $30 to add it, which is an incredible deal. They also went over photo and video packages we could purchase of us scuba diving. Your boy has never scuba dived before, so you know I was for sure buying it. I decided to explore the boat and enjoy the view. I noticed an army of ships ahead, and I'm guessing that's where the first stop is at. Once we got closer, I could see all the people swimming next to the boat. If you look closely, you can see the reef. I was in the second group to scuba dive, so I waited for the first group to finish, and then it would be my turn to put on the equipment. My first time going down, I had a mini panic attack because it was my first time scuba diving, and I was scared of heights, so I was scared to free fall towards the bottom of the sea. It also didn't help that people's feet were kicking me as we descended underwater. Eventually, I got used to the new environment. It also helped that there was an instructor holding my feet, and he did the hard work of moving me to the right area. Once I was done with scuba diving, I enjoyed the water and snorkeled a bit. Afterwards, it was time for lunch before we went to 2 other locations. There was multiple dishes to choose from. There were 2 different salads, then there was rice and pasta, followed by some other dishes at the end. I was able to get as much food and soft drinks as I wanted, which was a great deal considering I paid only $25 for the cruise and food. The $25 would barely get me a meal in California. It was finally time to start heading to the White Island. I hope it's not as crowded as the last location. However, I was wrong once I saw all the ships already docked at the spot, and I knew it was in for a surprise. I think this is the most amount of boats and people I've seen in the area out in the sea. Eventually, we set the anchor down and it was time for us to join the people on the island. It's a short swim to get to the area where you can walk. However, the water is salt water, so it's pretty easy to float. There are flotation devices and life vests if you have difficulty swimming. It was time to hop in the water. The water felt amazing and it was easy to float. I was able to swim with my phone in my hand. Eventually, I got to the spot where you could walk. It's crazy how blue was the water and it felt like I was in the Maldives of Egypt. This is literally the Maldives right here. See, I'm standing. crazy how many people are able to fit on the island and kind of ruin the experience, but I tried to still enjoy the island. Since I was the only one on my boat that brought my phone to the island, I was getting a lot of requests to film people. I eventually got back to the boat and we set out on journey back to the pier. On my way back, I made a few Egyptian friends and they wanted me to talk to their friends on the phone.
Esme, Jimmy, Arizona, Anafin, America.
حبيبي رئاسة سجله تيك
Can I get a video?
يصورك اهو حاجة عشان هيشغلك.
How you doing there? Good? You having a good time? Good. How long are you there for? How many days?
جيمي نورت مصر وان شاء الله تبقى اول بتاعتك هنا، تبقى مش اول مرة وتيجي هنا مصر على طول. Welcome to Egypt.
Do a quick smile right there.
The boat docked and my adventure was finally coming to an end. I returned back to the waiting room, but this time it was to wait for a shuttle to take me to the hotel. It seemed like they forgot about me and eventually they added me to one of their vans. During my ride, I noticed everyone spoke Russian and I was the only English speaker. Finally, it was just me.
We made it back from the excursion. It's actually a lot more fun than I expected and made a lot of friends.
Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe to me to see more travel content.